Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Elephant. Elephant is the 15th feature film from the DisneyNature label. This time we are following Shawnee and her son Jomo, as well as the rest of their herd of elephants as they make the treacherous journey across the Kalahari Desert. Now, I love elephants. They are actually my favorite animal. I adore them. I find them to be regal, beautiful, completely fascinating, enthralling animals. So I was very excited when I heard that DisneyNature was releasing Elephant onto Disney Plus because before the announcement, which happened in the last 2 weeks, I had no idea this film was coming. And I have to say, it did not disappoint. DisneyNature, 2 for 2 in 2020 with their debuts on Disney Plus. I loved Elephant. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the positive. I actually want to kick off the positives on this with our narrator, who is Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. She delivers a beautiful narration in this movie. She has a great voice for voiceover work. It has a regal educational feel to it, but this nice touch of fun, of levity. And she just does a beautiful, beautiful job delivering these lines and capturing the essence of the story that's being told. I was shocked at what a beautiful job she did. And as you might have guessed from my intro, the subject matter. The elephants are just fascinating creatures, and I enjoy spending every single moment with them. We start off with just a pure, joyous, jubilant scene of elephants getting to just enjoy life, including little Jomo and little baby elephants playing and interacting with other creatures is maybe one of my favorite things ever. Also, getting to see them play around with their trunk and not really understand what the heck is wonderful. And we get all of that at the beginning of this film, and it's wonderful. The narrative itself and the journey the elephants go on in this film is very organic, and it doesn't feel manipulated with, really tampered with, whether from editing, as I said in my Dolphin Reef review, or quite literally, which we kind of have seen in previous DisneyNature films. It feels untouched and it feels authentic. And while the narrative certainly shapes how we view the elephant's experience, it just takes you on all the rides. You get those laughs, you get a lot of joy, there is a lot of tension, and there is even moments of choking up in this movie. Really high emotional stakes, and I think they really delivered on the complete spectrum of emotion here, and it all worked beautifully. We also took some new risks when it comes to visual storytelling in Elephant. Particularly, we kind of go into the mind and go into the memory of elephants themselves. And it was a very interesting take for the filmmakers to go with, and one I mostly appreciated. We don't have animations or they don't make anything up in there. It just is a really interesting visual cue when we're speaking of an elephant and how they pass down memory and how they understand where to go and what to do. I also really enjoyed this tone of the film, in which we're viewing elephants through a more mythology type of lens. And what I mean in that sense is that we deal a lot with elephants in memory and a lot of interpretation of elephant behavior as it pertains to their culture, basically. And I enjoyed that. I thought that was a fresh, new perspective for a DisneyNature film to take, and really fitting for the animal they were studying. Also, Ramin Djawadi, who we know from Game of Thrones, composed a beautiful score for this movie. It really was just fantastic music, whether it be the really beautiful chants and vocals down to just the score elevating everything. The cinematography is stunning. We get beautiful shots that really depict how important water is and just how literal water transforms the desert in which these elephants call home. The shots of the elephants themselves, the other animals, it's all stunning, as you would expect. So then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to elephant? Well, I mentioned that whole idea of mythology and the interpretation of behaviors, and while I find that as a net positive overall, I think it leads to the two negatives within the film. One being, we were a bit light on facts here. This definitely is much more of a narrative that brings you in emotionally to our animal counterparts here and the family aspect. It's really heavy on family. But we don't actually learn a whole lot about elephant behavior, and we are purely focused on elephants here. We don't take detours really for other animals other than just to kind of show them in relation to the elephants. No, this is purely set on elephants themselves. And you don't come away feeling like you learned a whole lot of factual information about them. And the other negative that comes off of that is that I do think it starts to feel a bit repetitive toward the middle. This is pretty much a full hour and a half long feature film, and you kind of get those same lines and you get those same sentiments about history and about memory and ancestry. And it feels a bit repetitive through the middle portions of this movie, where you're kind of just like, okay, we got that point. Let's move along to the next. But overall, I loved Elephant. I was completely captivated by this beautiful familial herd of elephants we get to know throughout this film. I was along for the journey. As I said, I laughed, I was smiling, I felt the tension. I even got myself like choked up at one moment of the film because they just effectively took me through all the emotions. As a very different atmosphere than Dolphin Reef, but it serves well as a good counterpart to that film. So here we are in self quarantine, and I think this is a beautiful film to watch with the full family. I think the whole family will really enjoy themselves. So that's it. That is my review of Elephant. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Elephant, or have you already seen it? If you have, let me know your thoughts either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!